So here's the secret. If your audience says, I would watch your videos anyway, you've got it. Oh, you're still here? You want me to explain what I mean by that? Okay. Howdy everyone, Nate here. If you have created a channel with videos which people will watch, your audience will watch anyway, you have officially hit the sweet spot of YouTube. Right out the gate, I want you to think of a favorite channel of yours right now, and you can put it in the comments if you want to, but right now, think of a favorite channel of yours. And while you've got that channel in mind, I want you to answer this next question. If they published a video, do I even really care what the topic of the video is before I decide that I'm going to watch it? Because if you have channels like this coming to mind for you right now, I will guarantee they are using at least one of these techniques. One, they have made their content easy to consume. Now I use the word consume rather egregiously here. I intentionally use that word to form an analogy for how people watch YouTube. They tend to consume it. In fact, I had a conversation with a client just recently that went something like this. Well, Nate, what do I need to do in order to make my videos spread more? And I said, your videos are too difficult to digest. They're giving me ulcers just thinking about it. Okay, Nate, so what do I do to make my videos easier to consume/digest? Reduce the calories and add more sugar. So the analogy kind of breaks down there a little bit, and if there's any nutritionists in my audience right now, they're just having a heart attack or getting ulcers just listening to that analogy. But really, the point I'm trying to make here is you, as the creator of the content, you do not want to go too deep into concepts or the subject at hand. In a way, you kind of want to sugarcoat your content. Now hold on here, I've potentially managed to offend another large portion of YouTube viewership that really appreciates the depth of concept and diving deep into things. And if that's you, please hold on to your britches, pull up your socks, and let me explain what I mean here. If you go too deep into a concept or a subject within the body of a video on YouTube, you will often see one of two things happening. Either one, if you do that over several videos, your channel won't spread as much. I'll get back to that here in a moment. Or two, if you do it within the content of a video, you'll tend to have lower average view duration, which could also contribute to that video not spreading as much. And this happens because you've started to explain or demonstrate things that your audience really doesn't need to know, at least not within the content of a YouTube video. These types of things tend to be better placed in a paid location, be it a Patreon, a membership, a course, or things like that. Or if you're creating more entertaining style of videos, these tend to be best placed in a more behind the scenes location like a Patreon or a membership. Now, why is this? And I intentionally wanted to go out on a limb and talk about things that I have not personally seen a lot of people talk about when it comes to YouTube. It's because of this. The further you go into your niche with your content on YouTube, the more likely that niche is to want more niche content. And the more likely your audience is to want more, the less likely it is that what you are creating will be appealing to a wider audience. And the less appealing your content is to a broader audience, the less likely it will be to spread. And that is not because of a lack of value per se. It's because of simply a lack of broader interest. Okay, pause. What was I just doing? Was I going far in depth into something without using a lot of analogies or visuals or real stories or showing real channels to explain the concept that I was just telling to you? Yes, I was. How did you feel during that sequence I just did? I'm gonna wait a grand total of 2 seconds while you type it out in the comments and you let me know just how egregious that crime was that I just committed in YouTube easy to consumability by not sugarcoating it for you. Which ironically brings us to the next point in easy to consume content that I keep seeing these YouTubers do. Don't take too long to explain something. If you take longer than is necessary to explain a concept in your video, well, you can guess what's gonna happen. You're gonna lose people. All right, how to apply this easy to consume concept to... All right, how to consume this... Oh my gosh. All right, how to apply this easy to consume concept. Say that 10 times over fast. Here's how to apply it. The point I'm making here is not that you should make all of your content broader appeal, and if you have a sweet little niche that you're creating content for on your channel, we're not saying here to go super broad with your content. What I'm saying is if you're experiencing a plateau with the spread of your content, it could very well be because of this. So the question I want you asking yourself regularly is, how do I make this video easier to consume? Because if you keep asking yourself that question and keep applying just micro adjustments to your content with each video to make your videos easier to consume, I guarantee they will begin to spread more. Oh, hold on here. Telling me I shouldn't guarantee anything. I strongly imply from my thousands of hours on YouTube that your videos are very likely to spread further if you answer that question regularly. How's that? Next technique your favorite YouTubers are using is they are being relatable. And I need to be clear here because this concept can feel overly simplistic. I assure you it is not. Because what they're doing is they're being a real person, talking about real things, and they're making sure that they communicate that with you as an audience. How do you do this? First, you stop talking in generic concepts as much as possible, and instead start talking in things that your audience will relate to and or understand. One of the very best ways to do this is to use real stories from your own life or from your clients' lives or from your friends' lives. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation about this very thing with a client. You see, what they had done is they had published tons of videos with fairly generic concepts in them. And then they published a video with a real person where they were interviewing a real person and that person was sharing their exact story with their topic matter. Can you guess what happened with that video? Why, yes. That video did perform better than the other videos around it. So it's not always easy to do this, but some of the best ways I have found to do this is to ask myself questions like these before I'm about to share something in my video. What was the one most interesting thing that happened in that story? How was I feeling at the beginning, midway, and at the end of this story? What key things could my audience really relate with in this story? You got it? Next thing your favorite YouTubers are doing to hook you is they are intentionally injecting fun or funniness into their content. You see, there's something about being fun or funny in yourself or your content that instantly breaks down barriers, makes your content more memorable, and makes it easier to consume. In order to do this technique, there's just one thing I want you to be doing. I'll get it. There's just one thing I want you to be doing as a result of this technique. I want you to enjoy the process and let it show in your own way. Even if you're not showing your face in your videos, I want you to communicate with your audience that you're enjoying the process and letting it show. Okay, I think I got it that time. Now, in order to demonstrate that live here in this video, I did a search for dank jokes, and unfortunately, I found that I could not share most of them here on YouTube. Oh no, these are so bad. Oh. I would have to censor these. But there were a few that I felt could pass the filter here. You know you're not well liked when you get handed the camera every time they take a group photo. I got my doctor's test results and I'm really upset. Turns out I'm not gonna be a doctor. My boss told me to have a good day, so I went home. So instead I had to look up intellectual jokes because then maybe that would be safer than dank jokes. A photon checks into a hotel. The bellhop asks, "Can I help you with your luggage?" It replies, "I don't have any. I'm traveling light." Get it? The photon traveling. Okay. Have you heard about the new band called 1023 Megabytes? They haven't got any gigs yet. Never tell a pun to a kleptomaniac. They are always taking things literally. Get it? They're always taking... Okay, one more. What do you get when you cross a joke with a rhetorical question?